Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel, or as I say every time, welcome to the channel if you're new. Today's little video is a bit of an update of my fitness the last couple of weeks, which has not been as good as I thought it should be. A few little ideas what I want to do to progress, and then also I got a couple of little questions which I get asked all the time, which I want to make into a video to explain in a wanna. So, little update by myself, fitness wise it's gone downhill. So it's my birthday in May, I'm turning 40, so I want to do a marathon before May. I want to run 26 miles, not actually do a marathon event because I don't want to pay to travel and enter a race and take 3 days of my life doing a marathon. I'm happy just to do 26 miles anywhere, and that'll be my goal. I don't need a medal to prove I've done it because I'll have Strava and Garmin, and I'm not going to lie, in my mind I'm comfortable enough to do a marathon and that'll be my achievement. So I don't need the motivation, I can self-motivate myself to get out the door and do it. So if I was going to go to London, it costs £60 or £70 for the ticket, but you got to travel down there the night before, which is half a tank of fuel. You got to check into a hotel, which is going to be on marathon day maybe £100, £200 for the night. You got to buy extra food for the night before. You got to get your breakfast and your energy gels and things ready. Travel to the start line or wherever you start, so an underground or bus or whatever. Pay for car park. After the event you might buy a t-shirt or whatever for the souvenir, but also you got more food for the rest of the day. You might stay another night and make it into another day of it, but then that's another £200 or £300 for you and your family to stay there, and then travelling back. So worked it out, I'm guessing £300, £400, £500 easily just to do 26 mile run. You're not going to get a winner's medal, but you get an achievement medal. But after 2 days, when the dust has settled, that'll just be collecting dust in your house. So I'm happy just to do 26 miles. I tell myself the first time I did 26, but it needs to be before my birthday at the end of May, because as soon as I turn 40, that pushes me over the 30 age, and then you go into another bracket then of like veterans 40 plus. So everything will change overnight. It did last year. Last year my Garmin watch, for the whole year it said my fitness age was 30, even though I was actually 38. I think on Garmin watches you can only make your fitness age 10 years less than what you are anyway. So if I was 38, I should have been able to get to 28. I don't know why, it never changed. Either I wasn't fit enough or light enough to get down to 38, but it said 30. Not quite on the strike of midnight, but sometime around 2 or 3 a.m. the following day after my birthday, my Garmin app said I was now 31. So just like that, at the strike of midnight, sorry I got a bit of fluff in my mouth. Just like that, at the strike of midnight or 1 a.m, I'm a year older and my fitness age is older, and then everything goes over and over. So just like that these days, for the last year I've been 31 years old. There was a bit of a dip where I had a bit of a, was it in the August-ish time, September, August, I think I went on a holiday, and you'd think actually holidays are relaxing, but because of the sun and the heat and alcohol and eating different foods and the 35-degree heat whatever country you're in, and at night time is warmer than what you really are as well, unless you go on holiday for a month and you can acclimatise properly, you're actually more stressed in that week or 10 days than you were if you're just staying at home anyway. Alcohol makes your blood pressure go up and temperature go up and your stress levels go up, your eating goes up, you're running around more, you're probably swimming and jumping and exercising, that kind of thing, but the temperature of your body makes your body more stressed. So I think there might have been a bit of a dip, but I've stayed 31 on my Garmin app for months, pretty much 12 months. I've noticed in the last month, since I said this decline in my fitness, I've gone to 31.5. But in May, that might jump to 32 or 33 straight away, just overnight, even though nothing's changed from like Thursday to Friday or whatever day it is. But I need to get this marathon done before my birthday, so I can say I did it before I was 40. I did a marathon, not when I was 40. I did a marathon, because when I was 40, it's after. You know what I mean? I want to do it before. That's my goal. It needs to be before, and as soon as you turn 40, you then go into the veteran bracket. So your speed and your time and your distance will be set for like people to 40 to 50. So I might be one of the fastest for a little short time, because I'll be against the 47-year-olds and the 48-year-olds. At the minute, being 39, I'm categorised against the 38, the 70, 65, the 43, all the 30-year-olds. And being quite heavy for a runner, heavier for a runner, I'm at the upper age limit and upper weight limit, so my times aren't great. Well, they're not great anyway. I'm not amazing. So yeah, that's my goal. Marathon before I'm 40. It was all going to plan. I didn't have a training plan written down, a proper one, of a runner, because obviously I'm into fitness. I should know about fitness anyway. I write training plans mainly for putting on weight, losing weight in the gym, how to get stronger. But I am aware of all the fitness things about running. But I'm not a running coach. I haven't got an actual qualification saying I'm a running coach. I'm not a gold medalist. I'm not a runner expert. But I have done a bit of above average running. So I was in the army for years, so I did a lot of running then. I know how to stick someone on a treadmill and do intervals or fartlek training or things like that. And I've done some running myself. So I can talk in a conversation with a good runner, but I'm not actually a good runner. So I've never wrote a marathon training plan. So if someone said to me how to do 6 miles or 5 miles or a 5k, it's easy to help someone who's at a basic level. You say you do a little bit. But to do a 26-mile run, if you've never done it before, if you get it wrong, you could be... Well, it takes ages to get to that fitness level. So if you get it wrong, you could be miles out, or you could overtrain and then not get the time I wanted to get, or not even complete it. So what I did was, just after Christmas, I actually won a little competition to have a free trial of this online coach and his package, and I won this thing. But you know what? I didn't do it at all. 2 reasons why I didn't do it at all. One person told me, why are you copying someone's training plan when you write training plans yourself? You're better than that. Just do it yourself. You know what to do. The second reason why I didn't follow his plan was because I read it and it's actually garbage. It was absolutely rubbish. And considering it's supposed to be like a personal, first class, top level training plan, it wasn't. All it was copy and paste. He advertises that everything's all personal, and he's got 4 members of staff, like a doctor, a physiotherapist, a nutritionist, and all these experts. Yeah, if you're going to pay the top whack price, you probably do go and visit him and have the fitness test, the analysis, and all the equipment he's got. But just online, I wasn't impressed, because all he got given is like a login or how to get on it, but then no further emails saying, are you doing it yet? Or hi, how are you? No personalised stuff. It's all copy and pasted, and it actually is rubbish. What I was doing, it didn't even ask you what you want to do at the end. What are you now at the beginning? And it wasn't tailored for me anyway. It was literally just copy and pasted. But if I had have copied it and started and done day 1, I'd have actually gone downhill, because day 1 was like run 1 kilometre. Day 3 was run a bit faster at a slow pace. I could complete it. I could have done the week 12 straight away. It wasn't very good. But anyway, going off track. So that was the training plan which I had, which I didn't do. And then I was talking to another person who is also training for a marathon, but they're training for a marathon, and I believe it's next week. It might be on Monday, the Boston Marathon in America. So they're training for that. And obviously, I think to enter the Boston Marathon, by the looks of it, I haven't Googled it, but the looks of it, females have to have qualified an official marathon pace 3 hours 30, and males have to have done it under 3 hours. So these two people I know who are going to Boston, they've qualified. They must have done an official marathon and emailed their official chip times. So they've qualified for that. They're going away. So I was talking to one of them about the training plans, and I can't remember what the name of the person was, but they said for a small fee you can buy a training plan online. Now I was thinking straight away, hang on, a small fee. This last guy wanted a large fee for his training plan. Is rubbish. So a small fee for this training plan. I googled and searched and read books and things, and generally I got the same answer off every website. Obviously you got beginner, intermediate and advanced level coaching, and Olympic athletes are already at a level where they can do a marathon, so they'd be an advanced, just tweaking little bits. I'm not a beginner because I can run. For a beginner, I think it says, can you run 1 mile non-stop? Well, I can run half a marathon. My weekly miles was definitely putting me into a middle class sort of intermediate sort of level. So generally what it says is every week builds up your weekly miles up and up and up and up, maybe by about 10% further, so 25, 30, 35, 40, go up and up and up to something like 50 to 60 miles in a week. It depends on where you work and all that stuff, and it's winter and that, but up to about 50 or 60 miles a week. And then if you're really good at running, some people do like 80 miles a week, but about 50 is what you want to be. And then as you come closer and closer towards a marathon, so say you're doing a 12 or 15 or 16 week training plan, the last 3 weeks then you want to start decreasing your miles, so maybe drop it down by half, so 50 to 25, and then the next week drop it down by half again, so like 10 or 15 ish. The last week should be really easy, maybe 1 or 2 light jogs, and you want to get your biggest, longest run in the 3 weeks before this little tapering off period. Some people said up to 20 miles should be your furthest for running. These two people doing the Boston one, I checked the Stravas, I think they did a 22 mile, maybe a 24 mile. But if you can run 26 mile in training, there's no point in doing a 26 mile anyway to say you've done it. But I think another thing was 3 hours should be the most in training. Anything more than 3 hours, you're going into the depths of overtraining and you won't recover enough for the next week. So just do your 3 hours or 20 miles, whichever comes first, and that's enough fitness, because if you can do 20 miles you can do 26 on the day. If you can do 3 hours, you'll do 4 hours on the day, just because of the motivation of being there. So I think that's what it generally said. I was keeping on top of looking at spying on a few people. So these two people are doing the Boston Marathon. I realise now another lad I know on Strava, he's doing a marathon, but I think he might be doing the London one. And then there's another lad who's a really good fast runner near me. I'm guessing he's doing marathon as well, because he's up to like 20 odd miles on his furthest runs, and he's doing about 50-60 miles a week. So sometimes when people post comments on their updates, it might say something like MP for marathon pace. So if they're doing marathon pace, you can guess they're doing sort of that distance and training plan. So I've sort of copied what people are doing. So each week, if I see that, I try and do my training 1 day ahead, because I got the days off, like today and now in the day, so I can train during the day. And if these people work during the days, they run at 5 PM, what I do is at night time I'll check up on the Strava, see how many miles they did, and see how many miles I did. And then on the Tuesday then I'll do a bit further, so I'm the same, and then the Wednesday I'll do a bit further than the same, or whatever. And then when it comes to the end of my 6 days off that I get. But from my training, I try and be the same. So if I see on Strava each week they did this many miles, that many miles, that many miles, I try and do the same. It was all going really well. I got up to about 55 miles in a week. I did a long run of 17 miles, feeling good. I probably could have done 18 or 19 or 20 on that day, but I kept it at 17 because I went from 15 to 17. So I was going to do 20 the week after. But the problem is, two problems. I've had a bad leg since, it's got to be in at least November. I did think at the start it might have been stress fracture, because I googled the difference between stress fracture and shin splints. Everyone says shin splints because they don't know what else it could be, but I think it might be stress fracture, because shin splints, it's a muscle injury where the muscle's like pulling off the bone, basically. I'm not a doctor, but I'll basically say quickly, where the muscle pulls off the bone, sort of inflammation and stuff. But it only hurts really when you are running, and it's painful in the muscle area. But mine was painful all the time. Even if I was resting at night and in sleep, it was agony all the time. Instead of being all up the shin, mine was just in one particular spot, like that much of an area, and it's always been that much of an area. And then it feels, if you can imagine you can feel your bone is like, that's your bone and your muscles around it. It actually felt like the pain was all the way around. So if people ask you, is the pain at the front or is it the back? If it's at the back, it's obviously the calf muscles. If it's at the front, it's extends the shin muscle, and it could be the soleus. So you could pinpoint where it is. But this is all the way like around, but it feels deeper inside as well. If I gently touch and poke any of the muscle, there's no pain, there's no heat, there's no swelling, inflammation or bruising. So you normally get a bit of heat. There is none. But if I try and bend my leg, it hurts as if there's a crack in it. If I elevated my foot, like they say to rest and elevate your leg, so if I propped my leg up on a chair with a pillow underneath it, or so it's elevated like that, it would hurt at that area like it's bending backwards and it's snapping the leg even more. I could walk fine. I could walk for 7 days. Walk around. It's not actually hurting now. I can't feel it now at all. But as soon as I start running outside, the first couple of hard steps on the floor, the leg hurts, and the pain only hurts on the step, but hurt like that. So then all of a sudden, then it was starting to hurt my shin, up the muscle. So I was thinking, well, my leg hasn't snapped yet. I think maybe it is shin splints. So I tried using ibuprofen gel. I tried using an ice gel, because the deep heat and the deep heat creams stink. The house will be stinking, it burns. So I went for the cold therapy. Said, I know you got the difference between heat therapy and cold therapy. I know that. Cold will make your muscles or the blood vessels dilate, so you won't get any nutrients into the leg. Really, that's good for swelling because it'll decrease any blood going into the leg. Really want to increase the size of the blood vessels so more blood gets in there, so you get nutrients and heal it. So really you want heat in there. But like I just said, heat stinks. The house will be stinking. If I sprayed that in my bathroom at 6 in the morning before work, the house would be stinking. So I've used the cold therapy. It just feels nice. It takes away the edge of the pain. You feel a bit tingly. You got a bit of minty sort of freshness on your leg. So it does something. It's got some ibuprofen mixed in it. Saves you having to eat ibuprofens. Having tablets isn't great for a long term because you got like your kidneys are going to have to sort that out. So if you send it straight to the leg, but it doesn't really work. I go for a run, and some runs is agony and I got to slow down or hobble. Some runs is bearable, I can run, but not as fast as I wanted to. You get to a certain speed and you're thinking, I feel like going faster, but your body's stopping you going any faster. I tried using KT tape, that kinesiology tape, the tape that's like elasticy. I put that on. It's supposed to support the leg if you've got an injury around your knee or somewhere, but also if you stretch it in line with the muscles, what it does is, I think basically it pulls the skin and the muscle away and it allows blood flow. So does it work? I don't know. In your mind you think you got a bit of protection, so you do think if it's working a bit, but has it actually healed me? Well, not really, because I've been wearing it now for a few weeks and I'm a bit better, but maybe because I've trained less. So training was going good, up to 50 odd miles a week. I did a 17-mile run, did a couple of other runs, and then a couple of times I went out for a run and it really hurt, so I had a day rest. Then it was Easter holidays, so a bit busy with social life and things, so I didn't train every day. The weather's bad, the raining, all these excuses. It was a good idea to just have a rest. So I've gone from 50 miles a week back down to 10 or day it is today. When was I on my last run? About 10 miles a week. I think last week I did a 6 and a 4. This week technically I haven't run yet, because I'm not sure if you know or not, I don't work off a Monday to Sunday rota, because my real job, my job, I work different shift patterns, so I can train for a couple of days, then I might have a couple of days where I can't. So instead of having a 7-day, I can train any day, mine rolls over. So today actually is my day 1 of being able to train. Even though it's a Friday, it's almost the weekend, it's actually, I'm fresh and today's my new training. But my miles are down. Instead of going up or peaking and then having a taper period, mine's gone back down to basically like week 1. Hoping I feel really good and fresh. My Garmin app's saying that I'm recovered and things, so I should be able to just take off as I was before. Also, to chuck in the mix as well, I was ill. I actually was ill. I'm not ill very often. Every 5 or 10 years I'm ill. I had COVID in whatever day it was, the second Christmas we had COVID, and I really did have COVID. On Christmas Day I woke up with a cough, and I don't struggle with COVID. I still trained and exercised actually in my shed, because obviously you're not allowed to go out anywhere, so I stayed in my personal shed. I did kettlebells and things, but you could see in my Garmin app my heart rate was different, my stress, I think my heart rate went up average 10 beats a minute. So over the day, it doesn't sound like a lot, but if an unfit person's went up 10 beats, then they might struggle. Mine went from 40 resting to 50 resting. So still mega low, but it's a difference. And then the stress levels, and I always show that I'm ill on my Garmin on a thing called HRV, heart rate variability. The Garmin measures every millisecond minute changes in heart rate rhythm, and if it picks up a minute, like microsecond change in the heart rate, it knows. And over the night time when you're sleeping, I think it measures it mainly at sleeping, it does this little graph of in the green where you normally are, and then if you're a bit ill you go into the orange. When I had COVID and last week as well, I went right down in the red, and you can see actually a few days before I felt ill it was going down, then it went in the orange, and then the day I was ill it was red, and I'm just now coming back, I'm in the green and I'm going up again. So my heart rate's good, my body battery's good, my stress level's good, my heart rate variability is good. My Garmin app says I'm in the recovery or resting period because I haven't done anything for a couple of weeks. But even though I haven't done much, my body weight's gone down. So 2 reasons why I'm thinking it's gone down. One is when you're running, you think you're getting fitter, but also you're making stress. So your body has to recover, your legs have to recover. You're producing hormones, which is cortisol and stress hormones, which if you don't have the important rest days and eat properly and drink properly, it tries to stop you and slow you down, so you feel a bit tired and you don't feel very good. You can't really lose weight when you're in this stressed period because your body won't let you lose weight. So you might, if you dehydrate yourself from a run and you don't drink water, over a couple of weeks you'll actually store more water and store more fat and store more carbs because your body knows that you're working really hard, so it'll store. Eventually, if you have a week off, month off, or like I've done a few weeks off, your body realizes then, oh, it's actually okay. I can let go of these things. I don't need to hold it anymore because I'm not actually working very hard. So after a couple of days of resting, I've noticed I went to the toilet a lot more. I was weeing loads. I think in one day I weed that much that I weighed myself in the morning, and then like just within 24 hours, my body weight down like a good couple of pounds, noticeable down a couple of pounds. You flush everything out. The second reason why I think you lose weight when you don't train compared to when you do train, and I noticed this a lot when I was on the turbo trainer back in a couple of years ago. If you do a 2-hour turbo trainer session on the bike, yes, you do burn energy and you do sweat loads. But obviously when you sweat a litre, you're drinking water at the same time, and after it you probably drink more than a litre because you think you're hot. So you put that water back in. But also, next to the bike, you have a banana and an energy gel and a flapjack and some sweets and things like that. And when people go out on bike rides, they go for a 40-mile bike ride on a Sunday or a 60-mile bike ride for 2 or 3 hours. But they'll eat a big carb meal the night before, a big bowl of rice or whatever. They'll wake up in the morning and have a big bowl of porridge and a coffee and an energy gel and a pre-workout before they go on a bike ride. As they're riding a bike, they'll eat a banana and a Mars bar and an energy gel, and they've probably got 2 water bottles full of hydration or nutrition powder in the water bottle. And then if it's a social ride, they'll stop off at a cafe and have 1 or 2 coffees, maybe a can of Coke and a big slab of cake. And then they'll carry on riding. They'll fill the water bottles back up, redo the energy gels and the sachets and whatever they're having, and they might stop off in the shop and buy some more wine gums. And then they get back and they go, oh, Sunday, that was a hard ride, I've earned my Sunday lunch. And they'll have a big chicken dinner or a turkey roast pork dinner. But actually, because it was a social ride and they probably dawdled on at 15 miles an hour on average for 3 hours, which isn't really hard, 15 miles an hour, how many calories did they burn? Because I'm sure that cake and the energy gels and things like that stopped them bonking. Bonking means crashing and burning and struggling. But did you burn more than you ate? Probably not. You probably ate more than what you burnt. And you hydrated the whole way and you ate all the way. So actually, you didn't burn any calories. You probably ate more. So if you do that every week over the course of a month, you might even put weight on. As well as obviously you're building muscle in the legs. You're going to burn some fat but build some muscle. I think you're going to eat more calories than what you're burning. I've stopped running, so I'm not hungry. So you wake up in the morning, normally if you're going to go for a run in the morning, you'd have some porridge an hour before. On the run, I might have a pre-workout before I go, a little shot of caffeine drink. During my run, I like to have a boiled sweet in my mouth, like a mint or something, just to stop your mouth getting a bit dry. And then if I'm going on a really long run, like 10 miles, half a marathon, I might take an energy gel, maybe a hydration pack if it's a hot day. And I don't need to drink water because I've run half a marathon without water, but I know the benefits of, if you sip water as you go, you might go further. So I force myself to take a banana, an energy gel and some water, and I on purpose try and sip every 10 minutes, or energy gel every 30 minutes, or every 2 miles or whatever. I try and break it up. But so really you're probably eating more than what you're training. But because I haven't trained, I haven't felt hungry, so I have no breakfast. You don't snack in the morning, you don't come back, and if you think you've had a hard run and you actually drained and you're tired, you end up going through the cupboards, stuffing yourself with anything sugary, so jam sandwiches, and you have your bigger bowl of breakfast and things. If you don't exercise, you don't feel that hunger, so you don't eat more than what you have to. So that could be another reason why I've actually lost weight, even though I've done less running. It also could be because I've lost muscle mass, but I was training for running anyway, so how could I lose muscle mass if I wasn't bodybuilding? So it's got to be carb depletion for not eating and training, less water, less stress on the body, and I'm relaxed. I'm nice and calm and relaxed at the minute. My muscles are relaxed and good to go. My heart's relaxed and everything. I'm not ill anymore, so I'm good to go. So I need to get back into running. I was going to go this morning. I got my leggings on, and I was going to go this morning for maybe 6 miles, see how I get on. But I remembered then on Fridays I go to town to do something else, and while I'm in town I run. There's a circuit, a route I run around a different town. So I'll save my energy. I'll do some jobs. I'll do this upload. I'll do some jobs in the day, and then at 4 p.m. I'll do my town run. Haven't done it for a couple of weeks, so not sure what pace I'd get. I might go easy today because I haven't run for a couple of weeks, as I've said. My legs are in, so I'm not going to try and set a record pace. I think the last time I did this route, I set a personal record. But I'm not going to try and run real fast. I'm just going to try and get it done without hurting myself, see what my leg's like, and then over the next couple of weeks, build back up, and then hopefully before the end of May, I can do this marathon. And I will do this marathon, but I don't want to walk it and get injured from it. Okay, so that's 32 minutes of me talking about my progress. There's a couple of questions which I get asked regularly, and I don't really know how to answer it on the spot, so I thought I'd make a little video and talk to answer it. So a few little things which I had in my mind, not in the right order actually. Yesterday I went to a gym. I took someone else to the gym, but I didn't train myself. So I just sat there and watched the world go by, people watching. The gym wasn't that busy, so not a lot to look at. But two things which I noticed, which I'll just discuss quickly, what happened in the gym. So not naming any names, or I don't even know these people anyway, so I can't name names. First thing which annoyed me, actually it did annoy me, but I didn't say anything because I don't work there, it's nothing to do with me. I always got taught when I was 16 in the army, very strict, but obviously if you got a gym, like they called the gym in the army the sports hall, so that's the gym, the gym floor, and obviously everything comes out, your benches and your mats, and then normally at the one end you'd have a space with a big net on it, where behind the space you've got your rowing machines and your bikes and things. So the sports hall can be used for football or circuit training or press-ups and sit-ups, but the rule was you never walk in the gym. If the PTI catches you walking, you'd shout at you. But you'd always have to wear trainers, and they can't be your dancing trainers, it's got to be your running trainers. So obviously if you're outdoors you could wear trail trainers or Gore-Tex trainers, but in 2000 we didn't have Gore-Tex, and I didn't have Gore-Tex. It's just any sort of road running trainers. If you were indoors doing a circuit training, you could probably get away with some sort of CrossFit trainers. There wasn't no such thing as CrossFit then, but some cross trainers, you could probably get away with them. But definitely no disco shoes. So no like DKNY, YSL, Prada trainers, leather, the ones like that. No skateboarding trainers, no flat bottomed crappy, and also you have to have your laces tied up, because you're running around, you're going to twist your ankle, you're going to be jumping, you're going to be doing stuff like that. So it really annoys me anyway when people see Arnold Schwarzenegger training and he had no shoes on, so they think they can take their shoes off. There was a gym I used to go to in about 2016-17 where you used to have the leg press was pretty close to where the clothes and the bags rack was, and if I was on this leg press, you're sitting down looking up, all the other customers walk in and they walk past you, and it's not nice anyway when you smell a smelly person walking in because it wafts anyway. And obviously if I'm sweating on the leg press, I might sweat, I might smell, but I think I spray myself with aftershave and deodorant before it. I don't go there after work when I'm really smelly. I'd have a wash first if I did go there. Just a bit of respect for everyone else. I try and be a bit hygienic. But somebody used to come in, take the trainers off, and put these trainers really close to your head height because that's where the bag is. So all you can smell then is these stinky trainers. And then they walk then around the gym, and it's not even if they're wearing nice clean white socks. They had some dirty stinking socks on, and then you can see the sweaty feet marks as they're walking across the floor. And I just think it's disgusting. Just because you've seen Arnold Schwarzenegger training, doing calf raises with bare feet, and now you've probably seen loads of videos on YouTube about barefoot training, they think it's really cool to work around in trainers. But fair enough, I can understand you might be thinking along them lines if you want to do squats or deadlifts, because powerlifters use deadlifts bare feet, or them little lifting shoes, because it's closer to the floor. So if you're deadlifting 500 kilograms and you've got 1 inch less to lift up, well, that's 1 inch better for you. But they're not lifting 500 kilograms, they're lifting up 10 kilograms. Like, I'm not going to have a go at anyone for not being strong, but they're not lifting even a maximum lift that requires a difference of like 1 centimetre. Also, if you've got Nike Air trainers on and you're trying to squat or deadlift 500 kilograms, that bubble's going to bounce a little bit. So you want something hard, like on lifting shoes, you've got a hard cork or wood platform, not a Nike Air. But I don't see the benefit of taking your shoes off. But this person walked in the gym wearing Crocs. And I was thinking, oh my God, so you've walked to the gym wearing Crocs, you're not going to train in Crocs, are you? No way. You're training in Crocs. But then they actually took the Crocs off and walked around the gym wearing dirty, stinky socks. Not even walking around with the Crocs. Fair enough then, if you're training on the squat rack with bare feet, because you really want to do that, do what you want, but I don't think it's right. You're stinking. Put your Crocs back on when you walk into the water bottle machine. But no, they're walking around in Crocs. No Crocs, just socks. Dirty socks, stinking. It's horrible. It's horrible. It looks horrible if you don't like feet. But also, people do it when they're not even training legs or ankle flexibility or anything to do with their benefiting their ankle mobility. They could be doing bicep curls on a bench. They're doing lat pull downs. What difference does it make if you're in bare feet or not? Why can't you just wear your trainers and your lat pull downs? If you're doing chin-ups, what, are your trainers that heavy that you need to take the weight off to make it easier to do a chin-up? Don't be stupid. Just lift up the trainers as well. That's extra weight to lift. The second thing I was thinking about in the gym is I was sitting there and people watching, and a lad walked in and he had a black hoodie on, personal trainer on the back of it. But it didn't say the brand of the gym I was in, so I was wondering, is he self-employed or is he working for the gym but under his own name? I don't know who he is. He's a bit younger than me. I was thinking, is he gonna train someone? Is he gonna train himself? So I'll have a little look, be a bit nosy. It's always good to have a little tip of what he's doing. I don't know who he is. Is he good, or I don't know. He started doing a bit of mobility work himself with a band. So I was thinking, here we go. He's training himself. Let's see how good he is. I'm not going to tell anyone. I'm only sitting there watching. But then a girl came in and he started training with the girl. And I was thinking then, what is he doing? Like, if he's earning £20, £30 for this hour, what is he doing to earn his money? What is he doing that she needs him there for? Like, why does she need him? It could be a confidence thing. She could be his boyfriend and girlfriend. Maybe it's his partner. I don't know if she's paying him, because if they're together, they could be friends. They could be training together. I don't know. But I'm just thinking, if he is a personal trainer and she's paid him $20. What is she getting for her money? Because sometimes it looks like personal trainers are glorified spotters. They're just there just to lift the weights up. They're not actually doing much. I was trying to listen to what he was saying. I didn't really know why he was there, what he was doing. He was telling her, right now we're going to do lat pull downs, for example, and then he selected the weight for her, but he didn't instruct her, like, why are we changing the weight? He didn't show her how to change the weight. So gym instructor will teach you how to use the machine. Personal training should be teaching you, why are you doing 10 reps, 12 reps, or 15 reps? Why are you doing drop sets? What's it good for? What are we trying to achieve today? He didn't really go into that. He just said, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Right now we're doing seated rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he didn't really shout at her or push her or motivate her for me to think that was a good session. That was, oh, she's sweated and made a good session. So that moves on to me. I always get like a confidence knockback. I always think, why would people want to pay me or ask me questions? What do I know? What do I know? Who am I? Why ask me? Sometimes I go through stages of weeks or months where my mind's blank, like a fog of cloud of, I forget everything I've ever known, and I start thinking, what have I been doing for the last 10 years? Was it right? I know I should have stretched for the last 20 odd years, and maybe I should have done more of certain exercises, certain times, but then I think, but actually I'm about 174 pounds this morning. I'm doing a rough calculation of this. I got a body fat testing machine, but I've also got a calculation I can do to rough guess it. I'm about 7% body fat at the moment. Definitely under 10. Without doing any weights or sit-ups and things, I've still got a six-pack. I've still got a bit of muscles. I got some good quad muscles and calf muscles without doing squats and things. It's still all there. So for a 40-year-old with no underlying health issues, I haven't got asthma, diabetes, not overweight, I haven't got high blood pressure, I haven't got low blood pressure. So I'm doing something right, but maybe I could have been better. I'm not an athlete, could be better, but I'm doing something right to stay healthy. And every time someone asks me a question, I have to think about it sometimes, like, I want to answer it really clever, because I've been reading up on about it, but I don't think they'll understand, so I'll dumb it down a bit. But then I don't want to undersell myself. But everybody always walks away happy, and they understand what I've said. Nobody has ever challenged me on what I've answered or asked or told. And I've even made YouTube videos and Instagram and Twitter posts and Facebook posts. And no one's ever come back to me and saying things are wrong, or Steve, you're wrong there, that's completely wrong. So I'm sort of in the ballpark of being right. So I've had a couple of questions the last couple of days. So somebody obviously thinks I'm the one to ask, but at the time I don't know all the answers. I don't know everything, and I don't need to know every single little thing, but I also know how to look for it if I had to. So for example, some questions which I don't think are that important, but I think they're looking at it the wrong way. So I just had a friend now, he's been on a keto diet. So if you don't know what keto is, it's really, you got to keep your blood sugar level below, I think it's 50 grams a day. Sugar, not carbs, your sugar level. So when your body goes under 50 grams of sugar a day, then you need at least 50 grams of your brain to function. Otherwise you start feeling dizzy and rubbish. So you get your sugar. If you go over that sugar amount, well then you're not in keto. Keto means your body struggles, knows it's not got enough sugar, so it makes these ketones, and then it uses the ketones to make energy. It's just another way of making energy, but you haven't got any sugar, so the body makes its own by burning fat. And then if you eat a bit more fat and no sugar, you're basically burning more fat. But it's not a high fat diet, it's just a low sugar diet, and you can have some fats. So what he was doing was having protein, healthy fats from avocados and coconut oil and fish, and then low carbs, but definitely low sugar. The last couple of weeks he's been looking at definitely his sugar levels. But it's coming to an end now, so he wants to gradually increase his carbs so he doesn't blow back up again. So for the last couple of days that I've seen him, he's asked me questions about, are these good for you? Are these good for you? Are these good for you? And I'm thinking, well, a banana's good for you. Well, a banana by itself, what do you mean? When you say is it good for you, one banana by itself is not going to do anything to you. It's not a healthy food which is going to fix all your problems. It's an energy, it's a carb, it is a sugar. There's different types of sugar. It turns into fructose, which is in fruit, or sucrose, or glucose, or galactose, or... So unless you understand about chemistry, how bonds work, basically foods are made up in different chains. And everyone talks about simple carbs or complex carbs. So a simple carb, or if you got one molecule of sugar, it burns off fast and it comes in your system quick and out your system quick. A chain of them, I'm making this up as I go along, but a chain of them is more complex, it's complicated. So it takes the body longer to break it down. So it goes slow into the body and slower out the body, so slower sugar. I think like starches, potatoes and rice and things. But potatoes and rice, they're not sugars. It's not like eating a bar of chocolate, but it still is carbs. So if you have enough potatoes or enough rice, it's still going to be a sugar. It's still going to top up. Hang on, I just need to plug in my battery. You're still going to have carb amount. So what you really need to do is add up. Sorry, I don't want to move the camera, but my battery's gone into the red. I'll just press pause and I'll start again. There we go. I think it's charging. Or is it? The battery's still flashing. I'll carry on. If it dies, then I'll change the battery. So instead of thinking about how much sugars you're on, because if you're on a keto diet, yeah, you want to look at your sugars. If you're diabetic, you want to look at your sugars. Really, you need to do a sugar test with your blood, with the prick your finger and get one of them. If you're not doing that, I don't know. Are you in keto or not? Who knows? Were you in keto? Was it ever in keto? What is keto? Who knows? How much sugar's in a banana? I don't know. Everyone where I work talks about, the healthy for you, it's got potassium in it. Well, what do you need potassium for? Unless you know what potassium is and what it does and what it's for, why are you talking about it? Oh, it's healthy. It's healthy. Well, what does it do then? Explain to me what potassium does. Even I don't know what potassium does properly. I know it's electrolyte. Probably helps with the muscle contractions. Probably. It's probably good for your brain. Maybe. But I don't go on about how bananas are healthy for you because of potassium. I talk about it's just a bit of energy. It's about 100 to 200 calories, a bit of sugar. I'll have one before I go for a run. It makes me feel good and I just eat it. I don't really need to know anything more about that, but I don't go on about how healthy they are. I think what people need to do more, right, is just generally think about the calories. I used to say that people shouldn't be talking about calories. They want to break it up really. It depends how complicated and how good you are at working it out. But you shouldn't really, just work out your calories. You should break it down into protein, carbs and fats. And as long as you reach that number that you want to get, then that's good enough. It's not going to be perfect because who knows how many carbs are in a banana, how many calories you need every day. You don't know. So all you do is you work out a certain number, say 3,000 total calories in a day, break it up into protein, carbs and fats, however you want to break it up into, 60%, 40% or whatever. Aim to eat that for the week. Whatever your goal is by Friday, if it's to lose a pound or put on a pound, If you haven't lost a pound, adjust it. Then for the next week, adjust it again, and then adjust it. And only when you get down to really good numbers where you're training the same amount as you're putting in, eventually it'll balance out where you're doing really good numbers. And that's how you know then you're working. I've tweaked it enough now where it's spot on. Either I'm staying the same or I'm gaining or losing, but you don't know. You can't. It's not a copy and paste where I can give you one diet and that's it. It takes weeks and weeks and weeks for it to gradually go down, and down. Yeah, a bodybuilder's diet is only 12 weeks, and they can lose loads of weight in 12 weeks because they're clever. They haven't just done 12 weeks; they've actually done a year before that as well. They probably trained for a year in bulking season since the last competition, and then they're doing it again. You might do 4 years in a row. So they're continually bodybuilding and training and learning. And bodybuilders know what to do. They're strict to their diet. But if you just the first time ever starting a diet, the first couple of weeks or months is just playing around with it. Seeing what works, what doesn't. How can I do this? How can I do that? The last little bit I want to talk about in training wise is, again, what do I know? Why are you asking me? I might get this wrong now, and a lot of personal trainers and strength conditioning coaches and things like that will say I'm wrong. But actually, I think I am qualified enough to say, no, I am right. Because, well, I am qualified. So, if someone else is a personal trainer, well, then we're the same. So, you can't tell me I'm wrong because we're qualified. You're not more qualified than me, so you can't tell me. I've got a degree in sports nutrition, so if you got a degree in sports nutrition, we're on par. So maybe if you work at the university or you work at the bookshop, you could tell me I'm wrong. But like I said, I'm 7% body fat at 40 years old, and I got a 6-pack. So what I do myself, because I do what I preach. So what I do must work. Now, it could be that I'm a freaky, naturally just gifted body, because I don't think I overtrain, like train hard. I don't think I overly diet. But a lot of people I work, they say, oh, Steve's strict. I think I'm not. If you think I'm strict now, you should see when I was bodybuilding. I could be mega strict. I can just eat 30 grams of rice and chicken and that's it, porridge. And I'm eating nowhere near strict diet at the moment. I go for a couple of runs a week and that's it. But for other 40-year-olds, that seems to be strict. So in training, right, so you've got different rep ranges, different sets. You can do different ways of lifting your weights. So if someone said they want to put on weight with muscle, obviously they need to build the muscle by lifting heavier, progressing, overloading, and lifting heavier and heavier and heavier, and then more and more and more. You can't keep doing more and more and more, so you've got to do different exercises, drop sets, trisets. If someone wants to lose weight, lose fat, then generally you say to them, do cardio, do a diet, and probably chuck in some weights to increase your lean muscle. Lean muscle burns fat, and you're in the gym training. But I've seen a couple of people on their Instagram, their YouTube, or wherever they're doing it, and I've seen a couple of people actually in real life as well. Sometimes they're not sweating at all, or sometimes they are sweating. Now, you've got to forget about the sweat. Sweat doesn't mean you're working hard because you're sweating. It could just be because you're in a hot gym and there's no windows and no fan. So if you did the same exercises outside in the wind, you wouldn't sweat at all. If you ran 5k or 10k at whatever minute miles down the canal path in the wind, you come back quite dry because the air is evaporated, all the water off your body, not on your t-shirt. In the gym, where you got the windows shut, hardly any ventilation or fans or air conditioning, where does that water go? It doesn't go anywhere. Plus, also, I've seen people wearing the wrong t-shirts. Instead of wearing a vest with wicking, they're wearing like football type t-shirts, which are really sweaty. So it doesn't always mean that the wetness, you're working harder. Also, you'll burn more. You'll you'll make more sweat when you're at a lower intensity because you're aerobically working. So you could be walking like on an incline on a treadmill and sweat loads because you're burning fat and using oxygen, which makes water as a byproduct of the exercise. If you went faster and you went into a glycolytic or even creatine energy system where you flat out, you won't sweat because it doesn't make water as a byproduct like aerobic activity does. But is sprinting as fast as you can around a running track harder than walking on a treadmill? It probably is, and you probably get more benefits overall anyway. Yeah, you're not sweating, but I'm sure running as fast as you can 800 metres at a lactic threshold is harder and make you puke than walking on an incline. Yeah, you're not sweating, but don't forget, I told you just now, forget the sweat. When you drink again after, that water will go back in your body anyway. You haven't lost a kilogram of fat, you've just lost a kilogram of water. But also with weights, I think back to the day when I used to train like a freak, and I used to impress everybody if I was trying to bulk or cut. I had people in all sorts of gyms looking at me in the corner of their eye, what's he doing? And people ask me questions, and strangers come up to me, what do you do? And it obviously did work because I was bodybuilding and I've won a few trophies. And over the last 20 years, I've had comments about arms, back, shoulders, legs. Look at his. So, not being big-headed, but I have had the right comments. So, what I did must have worked. But I had to think, what was I doing at a certain stage? When I was bulking, what was I lifting? When I was cutting, what was I lifting? What would I do if I wanted to get fit? What would I do if I wanted to lose weight? Because I've never been fat overweight, so I've never had to train to burn fat. But what would I do if that was me? Now, I probably would lift some heavy weights. Even if I was a girl trying to lose weight and she's scared of bulking, I probably would lift heavy, because you're not going to be lifting up stupid 200 kilogram bench presses like I could. You'd be doing heavy for you. But that heaviness, just a couple of sets a week, will grow some muscle, and everybody wants a bit of muscle. You don't want like flabby skin, you don't want a flabby bum. So you got to lift up some muscle, weight to make some muscle. That muscle will then increase your metabolism and you burn more fat. But if I was just trying to tone up or lose loads of weight, say I want to lose 3 stone of weight, what I would probably do is, a couple of warm-up sets, a couple of heavy sets for your strength. But then the rest of the 40 minutes, 45, 50 minutes or an hour, whatever you're doing for the weight training session, I would do flat out, and I would train like a freak. Like, if you're making a YouTube video and your Instagram post and you got your phone on the tripod and you slowly then you're walking over to the machine, you sit on the machine, you put your towel out, and then you count 1, 2, 3, because the PTI's told you to do a few seconds up, a few seconds down, keep breathing, you got to keep my position like that, and you can talk while you're doing it, and then you put them down gently. Obviously I don't like anybody dropping the weight, but on the last one you can easily put down, and then you can stand up and you can walk around. You're not training, that's just doing it. You're not putting an effort in. It doesn't have to be heavy to put effort in, but at least put your phone on the tripod. If you want to record it, that's what you want to do. Put your phone on the tripod, then run to the machine. Get there quick. Obviously you want to get there quick because someone else might nick it before you get there if it's a busy gym. Sit down, woof, get in position, whack them out. Do 15 reps, hard as you can. If you're doing a drop set, drop them. Don't drop them and chuck them, because I hate dropping weights, but quick as you can, put them down with no rest. Pick up your next dumbbells, 15 reps, smash out some flies. Quick as you can, 3, 2, 1, next. Put them down, pick some more up, do some shoulder presses. 8, 9, 10, 11, 30, and then you're knackered. Get up, have a minute's rest. I remember if I was bodybuilding on the last couple of weeks of training, I was dieting, I did do this, lighter each week, more reps, and maybe an extra set each week, not too much, because you're dieting. When you're bodybuilding dieting, I mean, you don't want to get injured and you don't want to lose any muscle mass, so it's different if you're just fat burning. But I'd have a minute's rest, strictly only a minute's rest. I'd look at the watch and I'd have 59 seconds, bang, 60 seconds, I'll be in it. My next rep will be at the minute. It gets your session done quicker because you're rushing around, you get it done quicker. Instead of doing an hour, you can do it in 45 minutes. So your lifestyle actually better, get in, get out. But it's like a cardio session, your heart rate goes up. If you have 3 minutes off, your heart rate comes down again. Then it goes up, then it goes down. But if you have 1 minute's rest, it goes up, then up, and up, and up. By the time you get to the end of the session, you'll be absolutely knackered. If you want to do some cardio after that again, or cardio before that, it's extra, but you need to do more reps, at a lighter weight, chuck in some more sets, then chuck in as well, not every set, but chuck in drop sets, trisets, pyramid sets, double up everything, just do more, just do again, faster. Don't do it so light that you're performing rubbish, but a little bit worse than strict. So if you're doing flies, get them in. Chest presses, get them in. We're not after heavy weights to build muscle. We're not after perfectly performed exercises. If you're doing press-ups, yeah, really, if you're doing 10 press-ups, nice and slow. But I think the people, to make it fashionable, every year people invent new exercises and new machines. It's impossible. You can't invent a new machine. The bench press is done. That's it. It's a bench press. You can't make it any different. But every year, obviously, there's new Instagrammers, there's new personal trainers, because every year there's a new 18-year-old. And what can they do to make everyone believe them? So they'll say, oh, train in strict form, do press-ups. Go on YouTube, search for Navy SEALs. There's even a full video, or there's like a 5-part video, but there's a 5-part series, or it's a full version of it, of the class, I'm not sure what number it is, 432 I think it might be called, class 432 nail seal training. And it's a camera behind the scenes of a training block of people, and it starts off with 200 people and goes down to 30 something. The Navy SEALs do real slow and nice and easy and gentle, and then I'll stand up, we've done 10, have a 3-minute rest. No, they're not. They've got the face in the sand. They're sprinting, they're going, they're doing chin-ups, one more. They're doing press-ups, they're banging them out. In the army, in the British Army, you YouTube Royal Marines, Paras, SAS, Delta Force, Green Berets, any place in the world, you see the people in the army, they're banging them out. 50 press-ups. Get on your feet, get on your face, 50 press-ups. They're sprinting up and down, up and down, up and down. People don't want to do that because it's hard work. And the people who are just personal trainers who not been in the army don't know that that's what they do. But who are the fittest guys in the world? Really? I know obviously marathon runners are the fittest marathon runners. CrossFit Games are the average CrossFit, because the army don't do all the stuff they do. But in your mind, when people talk about the fittest guys in the world between the age of 18 to 40, generally you think of an 18-year-old lad who's fittest. You don't think of football players or American football players or basketballers or rugby players. Yeah, they're fit, but 17-stone bloke isn't fit. You know what I mean? Like they're heavy. You think about armies, don't you? Army can run, they can climb up ropes, they can crawl, they can do press-ups, they can do sit-ups, they can do leg raises, they can run 20 miles a day, and then they can... That's what they do. They're lean, they're fit, they're mean, and they don't do slow. Oh, let's do 5. Oh, that's 8, 9, 10. No, they do loads. Many as you can in a minute. Go, swap, go, swap, go, swap. That's what you want to be doing if you want to burn fat. Get some circuit training like that. Kettlebell session, body pump session, whatever session you're doing, at least maybe just once a week then. Do one of them ones. The other ones, you can do strength training, you can do mobility work, you can do your cardio, you can go on a run, you can go on a bike ride, do other stuff as well. But that's what I'd probably do if I wanted to burn fat, and lean up and burn, shift calories and stuff. If you added up as well how many reps you've done, how many sets you've done, and how much weight you've done, you can calculate the total volume and the intensity of that training session. And I bet you that that'll be, on numbers, harder than a normal training session. You'd have done more weight because you've done more reps and more sets. So even if you're doing 10 kilograms instead of 100 kilograms, but you're doing 10 times more reps, loads more sets, the numbers will show themselves. It'll be higher, the volume is higher, and the intensity is higher, and the rest period was smaller. I bet your heart rate will be higher, your sweat rate will be higher, you'll be knackered, you'll be blowing out, and that's what you want to do. So I realised I've been talking quite a long time. My GoPro's on red there, but my phone screen says it's flashing, so I'm not sure the total time of this video because I've done it in 2 short ones, but I waffled on for quite a long time. You might have noticed why I'm like sitting underneath an echoey. I'm actually under my stairs because I've made like an officey type space under my stairs. So plug there for my laptop, I can plug my GoPro in, and I'm actually under the stairs. So this might be my new spot for doing my talking. The only bad thing is the washing machine is actually literally behind this wall here, and it's on, so you could probably hear it through the wall. But I'm not going to edit that out. That's life, isn't it? So it's my little place. I've got some books here, my laptop here. This is where I'm going to do my work, and I might very soon, like I said before, but I'm going to do it soon, change my name from my YouTube, my X, and my Instagram. Following on from that marathon before May, I want to change my name from May. Maybe something with the 40 in the name. So fitness at 40, male fitness at 40, yoga fitness. Something, because you guys, if you're watching this, my name's Steve Lewis, but you didn't know I was Steve Lewis until you found me, until you stumbled across my video. But nobody goes out their way to Google Steve Lewis Fitness. I'm not getting searched up as Steve Lewis unless you know me, but nobody knows me. Anybody who knows me would have asked me, not YouTubed me. People probably search more for how do I get fit at 40. Well, I am now 40 next month, so I'm not 20 anymore. I'm not a female. I'm not a professional athlete. I don't know how to really advise people like that anymore because I can't do it myself. I'm not great, but I am 40. I'm quite fit. I'm quite healthy, and I know a bit, and I'd like to help a few people. So if I could help 1 or 2 people, that's the goal of these videos. Otherwise, it's just a little vlog. I'm talking to myself. If nobody wants to listen, then I'm just keeping up to date with myself. So thanks for watching. If you have got to this very end bit, thanks. They're not all going to be this long. It's not scripted, not edited. I've just waffled on for ages. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Subscribe, like, share, comment, ask any questions. I'll let you know when I make a new video, so I'll update all my socials and won't just go off the scale on blank. Thanks again. See you soon. Bye.